While the state budget included protections for retail workers, labor advocates and lawmakers argue the focus should be on preventing crime instead of punitive measures. In the final days of session, a slew of worker safety coalitions are calling for increased protections across industries. Our team was on the ground at the state capitol to learn more. Since the beginning of the year, protecting retail workers has been a top priority for the governor, who highlighted the issue in both her State of the State address and executive budget proposal. The fiscal year 25 state budget allocated $40.2 million for enforcement of retail theft, increased penalties for offenders who assault retail workers, and a tax credit for business owners to invest in security resources. But advocates and lawmakers say those protections are not enough.
Are we in the House, Labor?
Yeah!
All right. So we're here today to talk about how all workers need a healthy and safe workplace.
Last week, a group of worker safety coalitions rallied at the state capitol to push forward a slew of bills meant to increase protections and provide better workplace conditions for workers. The bills would require safety regulations for warehouses, create a temperature standard for work sites, establish rights for nail salon workers, and provide increased protections for people working at retail stores. At the rally, workers shared their personal stories of having to deal with unsafe conditions. Among them was Donna Reed, a retail worker and a member of Local 1S.
Some of these experiences are so bad we're afraid for a long time after. There's no follow-up on reports, no training on how to manage situations like these. We're often working by ourselves and at risk of being attacked. Security is there to deter theft and not to protect us. This is why we need the Retail Worker Safety Act, and we need it now.
Assembly Labor Committee Chair Harry Bronson, who sponsors much of the legislative package, acknowledged the work to protect retail workers in the state budget, but like many advocates, did not see the protections as sufficient.
All workers deserve safety and healthy jobs. But we know here in New York State, not all workers have the opportunity for safe and healthy job sites. We need to change that. You know, there were some things done in the budget regarding retail workers that were punitive and all about law enforcement. We need more than that. We need procedures put in places in retail shops that will make sure that workers know how to de-escalate situations, know how to protect themselves, and know how to keep safe, and we need to hold employers responsible.
While speaking with reporters, State Senate Labor Chair Jessica Ramos, who sponsors the bills in the Senate, said the legislature could not depend solely on employers to act in the best interest of their employees to ensure protection.
We have been working really hard, not just this year, but for the past 2 sessions even, in trying to get these and other measures passed so that workers in different emerging industries where we're seeing some really high injury rates have protections codified into the law. I mean, it would be nice to be able to trust that employers will want to do the right thing, but that's not what experience has shown us. That's not what the statistics show us. When we know that warehouse injury rates at Amazon and other places are skyrocketing, when we know that retail violence is on the rise, we want there to be preventive measures, not only serious consequences after the fact. We want to prevent these violent situations altogether.
The Queens state senator also argued that worker safety is linked to another pertinent issue that the state is currently battling.
The conversation about worker safety goes hand in hand with affordability in New York State. And I think it's getting harder and harder for people to make a dignified wage that allows them to keep making New York home. But it's not going to feel worth it to a worker if they think that their boss and the law isn't going to keep them safe.
And Assembly member Karina Reyes, a Bronx Democrat, shared a similar sentiment while at the rally.
But the reality is that retail does not exist without its workers. And what about safety, right? What about our safety? They spend so much time, so much effort, so much resources protecting merchandise. We need to make sure that they are protecting the workers, because there is no retail without all of you. So we are fighting to get this through the finish line, because we know that we can do better. There is a lot more that we can do, not just to address retail theft, but to make sure that the health and safety of workers is protected each and every day.
With just a few days left in the legislative session, most of the workforce bills have made it through committee in at least one legislative chamber. But the amount of progress that will be made in the next few weeks is unclear. And we'll bring you updates on the progress of those bills right here on the show.